It's been a tense few days, but there are now indications that this crisis is starting to wind down. I've noted that the public messaging from both capitals over the last 24 hours has been notably more conciliatory than the public messaging that was coming at the beginning of the crisis. And that's significant because Pakistan's retaliation against Iran, like Iran's strike on Pakistan, did lead to civilian deaths, including the deaths of children. So one could have feared that Pakistan's counterstrike would have led to more provocations and tensions and escalation. So the fact that you're seeing this conciliatory rhetoric from both sides, I think, is a very good idea. It's easy to forget, given how tense things have been in this relationship over the last few days, that this is not a hostile relationship. It's not a close partnership, but it is a workable, cordial relationship. So I think that there is the capacity for the two sides to tap into long-standing mechanisms for dialogue. And if they're ready to do that, then I think that we'll see diplomatic efforts to bring this crisis to a close. Now, this doesn't mean that the fundamental drivers of this crisis will go away, and that is essentially the fact that each country accuses the other of harboring militants that stage cross-border attacks. So that's something that's going to need to be addressed. But in terms of the current crisis, I am heartened by the recent public messaging, which does suggest that both sides are willing to think about winding things down. And that makes a lot of sense. Neither country can afford a serious crisis, much less a war. Pakistan is dealing with what I would describe as some of its most serious internal turmoil for a number of decades. It can't afford a war. And Iran is in a very precarious, vulnerable position as well. Its economy is struggling, especially with the U.S. sanctions regime. It's increasingly getting embroiled in all the instability around the Middle East. It's not making many new friends with how it has been handling its proxies in the region. So neither side has an interest in a conflict. So with any luck, I think we will see further de-escalation. China, which is very close to both Pakistan and Iran, and a country on which both Iran and Pakistan are heavily dependent for economic support, I think China is the country that could be a useful mediator if there's a need for that. Again, it has close relations with both countries, and because of the fact that both of them are dependent on China for economic support, Beijing does enjoy some leverage over the two countries, suggesting that it would be able to really help prod the two sides to start focusing on dialogue. But still, it's a very delicate, tense situation, and the next few days will be critical.